Wrestling Rundown, episode 85.
Back? Where did they go?
Rundown.
Did they
I
leave?
have nothing clever to say.
Did they leave?
So we are going to talk about
Why
what
did you
happened
guys leave?
on SmackDown.
At least you came back.
We had the Usos, Dolph Ziggler, and Titus O'Neil defeat the New Day and The Miz. I thought you might appreciate that. We had Kalisto defeat Neville to retain the U.S. Championship. We had AJ Styles defeat Curtis Axel. We had Charlotte defeat Natalya. And we had Ambrose, Reigns, and Jericho defeat the Wyatt family. We open up with the New Day. They are pissed off.
If you do Jericho, Ambrose, and Reigns, they team Jar.
Or Raj.
I like Jar better.
Jar. Okay.
Jar is funnier.
You're funnier.
They can be Raj when they go to India.
Okay. No, the New Day's pissed off at the disrespect shown to them by The Rock on Monday. It carried over. They didn't appreciate their horns being compared to llama penises.
Hey, you can't say that on YouTube channel.
You can say whatever the fuck you want on YouTube.
Penis.
There you go.
Vagina.
The other person that was very upset about what happened to them due to The Rock was The Miz, saying that he was disrespected, called a valet when he's main evented WrestleMania, and he's a movie star, and blah, 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 blah. The Usos think all this shit is funny.
Yeah, they also like to say whoa a lot.
The crowd gets into it, man.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that's over.
I'm not.
So Usos start talking some trash, and then New Day's like, "Oh well, you guys don't have gold. Your family has a gold allergy." It's kind of a dumb line, but it was kind of funny.
It's clever though because it works in so many different ways. Because Roman Reigns just lost the championship too.
Yeah, and they didn't win the tag titles.
The Rock doesn't have a belt.
Yeah.
And even Nia Jax.
Yeah. Well, so the New Day say, well, you know, you guys are out here, you're outnumbered, so why don't you get in here and try your luck? And they're like, well, we got some backup. We got some.
Dolph Ziggler and Hepatitis O'Neil.
Yeah. Opening match was fun. Good.
Yeah.
It was a good match. It was 6/8 of a good match.
Yeah, I'll give it a 3 out of 4.
3 out of 4?
It's a little like the lowest common denominator.
All right, that's
what it's
fair.
called when you take.
Yeah, so it's
least common denominator.
75% of a good match.
Yeah, it's a C.
Yeah,
strong C.
So it was above average.
Yeah, a little bit. It's pretty much average.
Yeah, no, the end was good, other than the fact that Titus O'Neil was one that ended up getting.
Like the last two guys in the ring were my least favorite guys in the match.
Yeah, and his least favorite of his least favorite ended up winning. So, it was the Usos did a double super kick to Kofi and Big E, and then a double dive on them. Woods got hit with the zigzag. He then shoved Miz off when he tried to do the skull crushing finale. Hit Miz with a super kick, who then in turn walked right into a Clash of the Titus, and the face team picks up
Clash
the
of the Titties.
Clash of the Titus. Then we had Kalisto defending the U.S. Championship against Neville. This match was fantastic.
Yeah, flips and shit.
Lots of flips and shit. They started off just countering everything, and Kalisto doing his really cool head scissor, his
backhand spring scissors.
Yeah, just and then Neville getting a head scissors on the outside into the barricade, and then the Danger Rana from the top.
Yeah,
rope.
that was sick.
Just all kinds of craziness in this match. Neville would go for the deadlift German twice, neither of which worked.
Yeah, you were saying they countered everything of each other's, and Kalisto used it to the most success.
Yes, because going for the first one, I believe Kalisto rolled into a rolling prawn hold, and then Neville kicked out. Neville got the advantage, went for a second deadlift German, which Kalisto then reversed into the Selena del Sol to retain the championship. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to a rematch between these guys.
The one thing I'm seeing now, though, is like we've had Kalisto now hit like 2 different Selena del Sols that have been a lot floppier looking.
Yes. I did appreciate that Morrow actually said it was a modified Selena del Sol. So good cover by Morrow, but yeah, he doesn't hit it quite as flush when he's trying to reverse a move as opposed to just hitting.
He doesn't get all the way up and around and not back onto his ass.
Yeah, he's kind of falling like front bump with it when he does it, but
flopping like a fish.
We had the highlight reel. Chris Jericho had Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns, both of which brought him presents. It was a potted plant and a stool, and Jericho was excited.
Yeah, well, he was able to put the stool down and then put the potted plant on top of the stool.
Yeah. So
and it looked like a little table with a plant on it.
Yeah, so it added a little character to the very barren highlight reel that only had. They spend so much on the Geritron 6000.
Insanely expensive Geritron 6000.
Yeah, so all that money goes to the Geritron 6000. They can't afford stools and plants. So
I know. I remember back in the day when the highlight reel used to have cool chairs.
Yeah, they had chairs,
like bar stool kind of chairs.
And then I think at one point he had a couch, and then they had like those weird cutout things and like the crazy carpet. And
yeah, I think they ditched the couch when Sean went through the Geritron 5000.
Yes. Yeah. He starts asking them about the triple threat match. They had some great comments towards each other, like what happens to that friendship when the bell rings?
I'm gonna punch him in the face.
And Roman Reigns is like, well. He's going to try and hit me in the nose, so I'm just going to drop my head a couple inches. I'm going to break his hand on my head. And Ambrose is like, well, what if I don't punch you? What if I
kick you in the ribs?
What if you're just giving away your strategy? What if I'm not giving away my strategy? What if I'm joking with you? So some really good banter back and forth between the two of them. He asked both of them about Brock Lesnar, and then Roman Reigns kind of brings it into perspective for Dean Ambrose, because Dean Ambrose has never faced Brock Lesnar one-on-one or been in a match where, other than the Rumble, Dean Ambrose has never been involved with Brock Lesnar.
I'm going to say right now, Dean Ambrose had a lot of Lesnar in the Rumble.
Did he really?
Lesnar suplexed him at least 3 or 4 times.
Oh, alright.
I think
Ambrose knows what he's getting into.
I think Ambrose has a decent idea at this point of at least what Lesnar can accomplish in about 6 minutes.
That's fair. So then it gets to a point where the Wyatt family comes out, and you know they pretty much say that, you know, if anyone knows how to slay the beast, it's them. They've done it on multiple occasions. They did it again at the Royal Rumble, but tonight they're focusing their efforts on Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Chris Jericho, because Bray Wyatt and 2 of his brothers will face them in a 6-man tag main event.
Yeah, at first I thought like he was going to be like, okay, well, fight us because it'll help you learn how to fight Brock Lesnar. And then I realized, no. He
doesn't care.
Well, that's my thing. At first he's like, yeah, you know, well, why not, you know, learn from somebody who's been there and, you know, has left Brock Lesnar laying. And then I realized, but then he's like, but also we want to leave you guys laying too.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's not actually being helpful.
No, because he's Bray Wyatt.
You never know. Could have been a Bray Wyatt face turn.
That'll be the day.
When he goes against Lesnar.
In my eyes, it will be. The social outcasts are a little pissed off about what happened at the Rumble, because they thought that, you know, they'd be the talk of the town. You know, Curtis Axel was in the Royal Rumble for 364 days, 3 minutes, 12 seconds. And all anyone's ever talking about now is AJ Styles.
AJ Styles.
He did say that really weird. Anyway.
Yeah, he didn't get his dad's promo skills.
No, he did not. He's not quite perfect on the mic. Still funny though. But then he ends up calling out AJ Styles for a one-on-one match in which AJ Styles fucking destroys all 4 members of the Social Outcast by himself.
Yeah.
He was diving onto Slater and Bo Dallas on one side. He was knocking Adam Rose off the other side. And he put Curtis Axel away with the very first WWE Styles Clash.
Yeah.
So
I'm thinking Styles might have to change his finisher up.
You know, I just watched Taz was talking on his show saying that he thought for sure that the first time Vince McMahon saw the Styles Clash, like, he was going to want him to change it because it's a dangerous move. I don't think they'll make him change it because I feel like with how much backlash they get regularly by changing people's names and changing what people do, I think if you take the Styles Clash away from AJ Styles, you'll never hear the end of it from the fucking crowd.
Yeah, I think, if anything, it's going to get phased out. It won't be like an immediate, all of a sudden he stops using it.
What do you think he's going to use? Bloody Sunday?
Probably. I don't know. What I'm thinking, though, is I'm watching him do it to Curtis Axel.
Curtis Axel tried to hook the leg the wrong way.
Well, watching Curtis Axel is definitely not among the biggest superstars in WWE. And AJ, being as short as he is, Axel's head was almost touching the ground.
It's true.
He's going to have an extremely difficult time putting the Styles Clash on anybody bigger than the Social Outcasts.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's my thing, is I think he's going to have such a hard time, like, not saying that he couldn't hold the people up, but just the fact that he's probably now, next to maybe Kalisto, the smallest guy on the main roster.
Yeah. So Styles is significantly shorter than most of the main roster.
Him and Neville might be about neck and neck.
True.
So a move where you have to hold a guy upside down low enough that you can get your legs over their arms. I have a feeling he's going to have a lot of guys dragging their heads on the ground. Which is just going to not make the Styles Clash work as fluidly.
Yeah, that was one of the things that Taz was saying was, like, you won't see him doing that move to Big Show.
Yeah.
That there's no way in hell that's going to happen. And when you've got people, that size. So I hope it doesn't happen, but you do bring up a good point. Let's just hope this isn't the last Styles Clash we've seen. Right, so we had a little bit more build in the Divas division. Charlotte took on Natalya. Charlotte with Ric Flair in her corner, Natalya all by herself.
Natty had a good fucking counter.
She had a counter for almost everything Charlotte threw at her.
She did a great nip up off the head counter from the wrist lock.
Yes, and then she turned the abdominal stretch back onto Charlotte. Yeah, no, Natty was on fire. I'm loving the fact that we're getting Natty in the picture again.
Well, when one is healthy.
Yes.
Then one
I guess she was dealing with some sort of leg injury or something. She had something with her ankle that she's been out with for a while. And Naomi is hurt right now, but she should be back in the ring by next week. But Charlotte would end up picking up the win. Natalya was winning for the most part, but while she was on the outside trying to get back in the ring, Ric Flair started wooing at her, and that distracted Natalya enough to, when she got back in the ring, she was caught with a chop block, and then Charlotte would put on the figure 8 and make Natalya tap out.
You know why that was such a distraction to Natalya when Ric Flair was wooing at her? She remembers what happened to Becky.
Yeah.
And she had to eyeball Flair and be like, bro, don't even try it.
I'm married. Oh, fuck my leg.
Rick, don't get any ideas.
Charlotte would actually keep the hold on after the match, and
she ended up letting go and then just putting her back into a regular figure 4 leg lock.
So she was just cranking on the move. Becky Lynch makes the save, runs Charlotte and Ric Flair off. I think we're gonna be getting a tag team match here pretty soon. I'm thinking maybe we'll get Natalya and Becky against maybe Charlotte and Sasha as kind of a, can Sasha coexist with Charlotte? And then, maybe Charlotte will leave Sasha or something?
I think we're going to get Becky and Natty versus Charlotte and Rick.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No, Rick would have a heart attack.
Yeah, he would. Alright. So, before we get to our main event, we had a funny outside of the arena situation between Goldust and R-Truth. R-Truth was stretching, getting ready to go for a run, and Goldust, in his entire get-up and neon shorts and a half shirt...
Admittedly, already sweating balls.
Yes, sweating his Golden Globes off. Tries to reiterate the fact that he wants to be tag partners with R-Truth. R-Truth still thinks he's trying to come onto him.
Literally and figuratively.
And it's freaking R-Truth out. And then he's like, Goldust is like, come on, let's do some runs. And R-Truth's like, well, we got to finish stretching first. He's like, all right, well, we can stretch. And then Goldust gets stuck.
Yeah.
And then R-Truth leaves. And yeah, Goldust is left in another awkward situation, like he was a bit more awkward than he was left on Raw, I think.
Yeah,
because
I loved his little mini vest.
Yeah,
and short shorts made of like the neon green net.
It was bad. Oh man! Then we move on to our main event, which is a 6-man tag. We have Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and Eric Rowan taking on Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Chris Jericho. Braun Strowman out at ringside. This match was alright.
The weirdos with the beardos.
Yes. This match was okay. I mean, it was kind of the huge
typical fare for the Wyatt family.
Yeah, and it was getting good towards the end, and then unfortunately we got the disqualification ending, where Roman hits the Superman punch on Luke, and is about to pick up the win, and then Strowman pulls Roman out of the ring, and that causes disqualification. We get a beatdown from the Wyatt family.
They're beating them all up, and then somebody comes out to save the day.
Yeah, somebody,
The 947th face turn for the Big Show.
See, and not only does it not make sense for Big Show, well, I guess it makes sense with the fact that he was taken out by the Wyatt family like twice.
Yeah.
But shouldn't that have already happened? And shouldn't this have been...
This, I think, is strictly going to be Big Show Strowman. Because I think Big Show's coming after Strowman for making him look bad in the Rumble.
Yeah, choking him out and then tossing him over.
Tossing him over and almost ripping his leg off.
Yeah, shit. Yeah, put the middle and top rope, put Big Show in an ankle lock. No, I don't usually want to see him, but this should have been Brock Lesnar.
You know why it wasn't Lesnar? It's SmackDown.
I know.
Lesnar ain't gonna work a fucking SmackDown.
I know. And that is exactly why I don't give a fuck about Brock Lesnar. He's...
You know what's gonna be shitty for the Wyatt family?
What?
Is when on Raw in 3 weeks, they have to fight Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, Big Show, and Brock Lesnar in an 8-man tag.
That I don't even see Brock Lesnar working a Raw.
No, probably not.
Brock Lesnar won't work until Fastlane. No,
he's supposed to be showing up live next Monday on Raw.
Yeah, no, and that's what we'll get. We'll probably get this rematch now. We'll probably get Big Show, Jericho, Ambrose, and Reigns against the entire Wyatt family. We'll get the beat down. They'll take out Big Show. They'll throw Big Show through the barricade, and then they'll take out the other three. Brock Lesnar will come out and wipe out the Wyatt family, setting up some sort of one-on-one match between him and Harper or something at Fastlane, which will probably build to Wyatt versus Lesnar at Mania. But okay.
Except he can't be facing Harper at Fastlane because he's in the triple threat match.
Oh, that's right.
With Ambrose and Reigns.
See, it doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, that's what they're going to do, is it's going to be the Wyatt family that's going to keep Lesnar from winning that triple threat match.
Why is he even in the match?
Because he's Brock Lesnar and he sells tickets.
And, fuck.
Tickets are the only thing he sells. That was SmackDown in a nutshell.
Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment.
Yeah, click all the links down there too, because we got lots of them.
There's a bunch of them. Social media sons and daughters, I guess. I don't know how
Thanks
that
for those
phrase
of you
works.
that have been talking to us on the social medias, commenting on videos.
Commenting, retweeting, resharing, sharing, posting, loving, liking, favoriting,
subscribing,
reblogging.
following, all that stuff. You guys have been doing some good shit. Thank you for that. We appreciate it. And then, of course, you gotta check out that playlist.
There's 2 P's when we talk about the wrestling rundown.
Podcast and playlist!
There's a podcast down below. There's a playlist over to the side.
And for those of you wondering, the Rumble review is not on podcast. It is strictly video just because there's a lot of it. And so we wouldn't be able to fit our regular reviews on the podcast. So Rumble review is strictly a video this week.
Yeah, probably a lot of the extra stuff won't fit in podcast form.
Yeah, Thomas's top 5 we don't usually put up.
So basically, if you want to get all the fancy stuff,
you gotta click that YouTube link. If you those of you listening to the podcast
on the tube,
check out our Rumble review. For those of you on podcast and the YouTube, you can check out our midweek wrap up where we talk about the return of Lucha Underground. We got this Smackdown rundown coming up next. We got some indie news with some more updates in the top prospect tournament for Ring of Honor. We got the return of Chikara.
Chikara's first shows of the year, Shine 32,
and Beyond Wrestling, The Dream Left Behind.
Yeah.
That one. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you at whatever video you decide to watch next.
Hell yeah. No, I'm just going to say it.
Alright.
Don't get us Riley.
Fuck Dennis O'Neil.
Fuck Jim Cornette.